All right, boys and girls, this is Canada's voluntary trade. We're going to go over specialization, what that means, trade barriers. I believe you already know that. A little information about currency exchange, and then we're going to wrap it up with NAFTA, which is real important. You're just going to fill out your notes as the slide comes up. Do your best to follow along. And obviously, pause at any time. Okay. Specialization. Why trade? Well, voluntary trade occurs when different countries choose to engage in exchange of goods with one another. Countries trade goods because no country has all the resources necessary to produce every single thing its people need. Voluntary trade is good for countries because it lets a country sell its own resources and buy the resources it needs. So, for example, Colombia makes tons of coffee beans, trade with America, who needs coffee beans. Idaho's got lots of potatoes, they can trade potatoes with Florida, who has oranges. We've gone over this a few times, pretty simple stuff. Specialization, kind of went over that a little bit with Idaho specializing in potatoes, Florida with oranges, Colombia with coffee beans. Because countries cannot produce all of the goods services that they need, they must specialize in what they do best. Specialization is an efficient way to work, and the cost of items produced is lower. It increases trade because a country can get what it needs at the lowest cost when produced by someone who specializes in producing that item. Because they're so good at it and they specialize at it, they can produce it better and faster, of course. How it works. So, for example, Canada's climate's too cold to grow coffee beans, so it gets them from Brazil. Canada also imports soybeans and rubber from Brazil. In turn, Canada exports airplanes and turbo propellers to Brazil because Brazil had insufficient technology in place to manufacture them. Specialization helps these two countries. There's a good example of the airplane assembly line. Canada specializes in the following exports. They do a lot of factory stuff with motor vehicle parts, industrial machinery, aircraft, telecommunication things, fertilizers, wood pulp, timber, crude, petroleum, natural gas, electricity, and aluminum. Nearly 75% of Canada's exports are sold in the U.S. And there is a wood and pulp paper mill in New Brunswick. Trade barriers. Trade barriers are natural or man made obstacles to volunteer trade. Natural trade barriers are like mountains and deserts and rainforests. Back in the day when people didn't have airplanes and stuff, the trade barrier was I can't cross that river, I can't get over that mountain. In Canada, the St. Lawrence Seaway is closed for several months out of the year due to the climate. Shipping cargo is impossible during the time. Political trade barriers are policies passed by a government to regulate trade. And there you can see the St. Lawrence Seaway being closed. That's an icebreaker going through to break up that ice because the weather gets so cold.